I get the sense that there is remains extremely broad support for the IDF, even among those who, feel strongly that Netanyahu has failed them. Um, is that accurate? What's your sense of it? Because obviously the country is closely divided, and there are, lots of, we've been watching the protests, hundreds of thousands of people in the streets, but then some of the polls continue to show, and there was a poll as recently as Monday that, not that there's a majority, a plurality certainly of Israelis who do not want Netanyahu to compromise on all the things in order to release the for the sake of the hostages. We can get into a little bit more of that. What's your sense about the sort of the IDF versus the government and how people think about that?
Yeah, certainly there's been a lot of polls that are showing a lot of different things at the moment. What I can say is that I do believe overwhelmingly the support for the military, because it is everybody's son, father, brother,
Yeah.
daughter, sister, that there's enormous amount of support, because these are the people that are going into Gaza or stationed on the north, enduring rocket fire and attacks every single day. When it gets to the military leadership, the latest poll that I saw was 55% support. For confidence in the government, it was 22% support. And I think the dynamic that you're seeing playing out, particularly with all the people coming to the streets, is the politics of this. Meaning, if you ask most Israelis and most people, quite frankly, should the hostages come home? Of course, absolutely. There's nothing to disagree with there. The question is, what is the cost going to be? Exactly.
Right.
What is the cost going to be? And I think it's not even so much, it used to be about how many Palestinian prisoners who are serving sentences in Israeli jails, many of whom are serving life sentences because they have blood on their hands for murdering Israelis in terrorist attacks. There is a question of how many of them are going to go free. But I think what we're seeing more recently is it's about what's it going to look like to continue to secure Gaza so that Hamas is not able to re-equip itself and re-attack. Nothing about Hamas's ideology has changed. Its founding charter says it's committed to destroying the Jewish state. Nothing has changed about that. And we saw a precursor, just a glimpse of what that would look like if they were given the chance on October 7th. And the politics now are about, where's the IDF going to be? Where is it going to retreat? Is it going to leave the Philadelphia corridor, which is just 9 miles long in the border between Israel and Gaza, where Hamas was being able to smuggle in weapons? The IDF found 150 tunnels in a space that's really 9 miles wide.
Yeah.
This is the channel by which they bring things in. Now, military leaders have said the IDF can temporarily withdraw and we'll manage. If that will get us some hostages home, we should do it. That seems to be the prevailing thought. But that's not going forward because of what people perceive to be political interests, particularly Netanyahu's interests and the members of his coalition to maintain his government and to stay in power, and perhaps cynically one could also say to avoid legal troubles. And that, I think, is where you see the dynamics of what's pulling and tearing at Israeli society.